there! Ready for the next part of the doll with the bendable head? I think you are. It took a while. I wanted to explain something before you're going to look how you can move on with your doll. I mentioned in the previous video that your head should be 25 centimeters circumference. But a tiny mistake. It is 25 centimeters is more than right. It's no problem at all. But what I did is in my mind I was making my patterns for my doll, and that's always a standard size because you need to use that pattern. For the doll with a bendable head, it doesn't matter how big your head is, because we are going to adjust the body size to the body size you're going to make. With other words, 25 centimeters is just fine, but 24, 22, 28, it's all just fine. We're going to make the skin fitting to the head you made. Now I must say a large head of more than 30 centimeters is nice, but then again you have to felt a body that goes with it, so that's a lot of work. So I would suggest keep it to your 25 centimeters or less and you will be just fine. I hope you enjoyed the next part of the doll with the bendable head, and as every time you can ask me anything in the comments down below. Enjoy! Hello you all! It's been a while, but I'm ready to record for the doll with the bendable head part 2. Now I've been working on my studio, crafting room. It will be a workshop room as well, and that took a while. It's still not finished, and there was a heat wave. Now there was a heat wave in the Netherlands, but I think it was all over the world, at least a great part of it. And we went to temperatures like 40 degrees and more, and that is very exceptional. It didn't happen in more than 75 years, I heard. So you can imagine that I wasn't very inspired to work on dolls with wool. But here I am, okay, and we will go on. Now the previous time you made your wire and you made a loop. You wound your wool around it in the ball shape that you wanted, and you felted it a bit just in the shape you wanted, and you felted a little neck that's underneath my stocking. Now first of all, for those of you who have never felted a doll face, let me keep it to a doll face, I would recommend not to felt this doll, at least the face. You felt the head, of course, because you want a nice shape, but not the face. It's up to you, of course, but it's difficult enough to learn something new without doing something that is extremely difficult. I have given workshops in face felting, and I will be doing that again, but it's only the basics, as you can see in my tutorials. It's only the basics, how to build up a face. It's even it is really impossible, to teach you how to exactly felt a mouth, because that's learned by doing it multiple times and learning of mistakes. It's practice, practice, practice. It's like I always say, felting with wool is more difficult than sculpting with clay, because you can take that off. Felting with wool, once firmly felted, it's almost impossible to get it off and to get it right again. So be aware of the fact that felting a face is really, really difficult. Of course you can felt a little nose or something like that, a little thing, that's just fine. But that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want, of course. I am going to felt this face because I just happen to be in that mood of felting faces. That's why. But I will do that later. First of all, I will show you how you can move on. You have your head and your neck, and you're going to place that stocking around it just like you did whilst making a normal doll. And if you don't know how, just look at one of my previous videos. So I've placed that stocking around it. Notice that I've made it longer than the wire, and I left the wire sticking out a little bit less than 1.5 keer the head. I will keep this in in the camera because sometimes I notice that I'm off camera. Sorry. For the body, I measure 1.5 size of the head. So I would take the head, place it under, and 1.5 under, and I make that wire. I make sure that that wire is a little bit shorter than I want the body to be, because you can imagine then that once we are felting, that you need some felt on the bottom as well to make sure that that wire is inside. Now I just folded the wire and I took that stocking down below and I bound it off, and I bound it off under the head. Now in this stage I only bind off the eye line. You can bind it off traditionally with a vertical line as well. I don't think it's necessary, but again, that's up to you. I think for me an eye line is enough, so I've done that. Before we're going to put on the skin, you have to felt a nose if you want that. You have to felt that nose right here if you are looking for a doll with a nose or any other feature you want to felt. That's very clear, I think. Now I want to show you how we make that skin, let me call it skin fabric, how we make that so that it fits. I will keep this in camera. I hope that it's all going in camera. You're going to make the skin over the face before we go to felt the entire body, and that's because I want that neck, I want that still to be without wrinkles, so narrow, and the only way to make that skin possible in a fitting form is when I do it now, because I will lay this head just like you've learned against the fold of your skin fabric, a little bit down, because I always like to have some extra room. And then you are going to draw a line next to the head and narrow it down to where the neckline is. I already made one, so I will show you. It's turned, so I will turn it back. Maybe that's easier to see. And then it will become clear why I am doing this in this stage. Okay, I guess you can see now what I've done. This is the fold of the fabric. I've laid the head on top. I draw a line next to the back of the head, and then I took my head away and I draw it completely through so that I have enough fabric left for the neck. And I did that because I think it's already obvious, but let me show you. Because now you are able to pull your skin fabric over your head in an easy way. I will do that to this dolly. Okay. It's always a bit difficult when you want to stay in camera. And show you. Okay, so here it is. So now you can imagine why I made that stocking sticking out of the wire and bound it off, because it's easier to flip it through like this. Then we bind off under the neck, just like you would do normally. I won't do it effectively, just show you how you should do it, because I'm going to take that skin off again and felt his face or her face. So you're going to bind this off, and you can see that there are no wrinkles, and that's what we love. Okay, then you can move on. You leave this as it is, when you felted the face or where you didn't felt the face, you just work your way to make a nice finished head as you would do normally. When I've felted the face, I always leave this open until I have made my threads and everything, and then I close it, because sometimes I need somewhat give of the fabric. So that's why I say don't make it, don't close it when you have a completely felted face. Okay, but what you can do is you're going to felt this entire body. Now that's quite a journey. I have a neck over here, so I won't be felting over that again. But if your neck is too thin, then you can felt over it without any problem. That's if you just keep away from that line that is deeply under the chin. Okay, so then you're going to felt all over this body, and the easiest way to do that is first you take some strips and place it around and around and around and felt it down so that you have something to hold on. And then you want your body to be more wider, so you place wool against the sides and take a strip and make that around so that your body is growing more widewise than it is lengthwise, and then it comes forwards. That's not what a body looks like. Every time you're felting, you just look sideways whether the dimensions are a little bit correct. So when you have felted a body that you think, okay, that's well, I'm satisfied, that's the moment that you're going to felt a little belly if you want to. You don't have to, and a little butt. I will be back with mine once I've felted the face, and I felted the body basically, and then I will show you how I felt that butt, so make it a cute little, adorable bottom. Okay, I hope you enjoy this journey as much as I do. Well, and I'll see you back next time. Bye bye.